All right, guys, if you know me, then you know that I've been helping guys quit porn for over 10 years now. And one of the things that makes me most upset around all of this is when I see guys work their asses off trying to kick at the porn habit, but then they don't see the results that they're looking for. And today, I'm going to be sharing with you an insight that I've recently gained that has me shifting up my porn quitting strategy for the first time in years. I thought I had things dialed in as could be, but this insight could be a game changer for you. This is especially the case for guys who have been trying to quit porn for months, years, or even decades. Guys who feel like no matter how much effort they invest into the process of getting clean, they just can't pull it off. And it's for guys who have hit 90 days clean or long streaks before, but then have since fallen back into it and have been struggling to really getting their footing. And it's also for guys who are just starting their porn recovery journey who want to approach it from the right way from the very beginning. This could be the key for getting you clean for good. And what's even better is that it may even offer far easier, more exciting, and a more enjoyable process than what you imagined. So let's go ahead and set the stage for this insight, okay? Early in my career, when the porn recovery movement was really still in its infancy, my main focus was helping men figure out how they could actually do the real internal reprogramming required to eliminate porn from their life. You see, back at that time, most guys thought that you could just white knuckle through it, that you'd grow out of it, or maybe you could pray it away or something. Basically, these guys put zero structured emphasis on quitting porn because they both didn't know how to do that, and then also felt like they couldn't give themselves permission to do that with all their other goals, responsibilities, and things like that weighing them down. So that's what my work centered around solving back then. I told guys, look, this problem isn't just going to go away. You need to put effort and focus on it to get clean. And you can go at your goals 100 times harder once you get this issue out of your life. And then to support them in this, I gave them practical tool sets to pull it off. Like instead of just grunting against their cravings like cavemen, I gave them specific mindset changes and daily practices that would help them rewire their brains. And guys, honestly, they got way better results getting clean doing this than what they were trying to do before. And then over the years, I continuously refined these tools, with my Reforged Man program being an incredibly in-depth example of this, which was almost like a college-level course on quitting porn. And many guys were able to totally quit porn using this approach, but the thing is, a troubling problem started to arise with a certain segment of guys who used this program. There were some guys who would invest a tremendous amount of effort into quitting porn using the methods I recommended. And usually they would be greeted with awesome initial success where they'd hit 90 days, but then they'd relapse. And then from there, they'd almost always fall into this pattern of trying and failing and trying and failing on and off, all while seriously putting effort into the process, but not really getting the results that they were looking for. It was very counterintuitive. It seemed like the more they focused on the porn recovery work, the worse the results were. And for a while, I was having a lot of trouble figuring out what the heck was the connecting pattern in these cases. But then, one day, I was having the first coaching session with one such guy like this. Previously, he had gone through my Reforged Man course. He got a great streak, but then he fell back into the relapses and was looking for one-on-one help to help him figure out what the heck was going on. And so in the session, we were talking about what his goals were. He said one of his biggest goals was to improve his relationship with his wife and kids. His porn addiction had caused him to be distant and volatile, leading to feeling like his kids hated him and that he was worried his wife was going to leave him. And so, I asked him, I was like, well, what are you doing to work on this? And he said, well, I haven't been able to do too much. I've been putting so much effort into quitting porn that I just don't have the bandwidth to open up that can of worms with my family until I get clean. And this immediately set off a major red flag in my mind. I then asked him, well, how much do you feel like your poor relationship with your wife and kids contributes to your stress and desire to escape through porn? He said that his family stress was the number one driver for him wanting to escape. At this point, I realized that I had made a mistake somewhere along the way. My content had become too porn recovery focused and it had lost its proper holistic footing. It then became clear to me, at least for some guys, I had been failing to properly highlight something super, super important. And that is, yes, To quit porn, you need some specifically directed energy into staying clean. However, the bulk of your energy must go into creating a life that you do not want to escape from in the first place. What I realize is that if you over-focus on quitting porn, especially at the cost of your higher goals or your most urgent problems, then quitting porn actually becomes a form of escape in its own right. So in the case of this client, hyper-focusing on quitting porn allowed him to avoid or escape the uncertain path of improving his most important and challenging relationships. So back to this client, all right? Prior to this conversation, nearly 80% or more of this client's free time and energy was going into porn recovery work. And then whatever was left over, he, kind of sprinkled into his other pursuits and goals. But what I had him do was completely reverse those numbers. We put just 20% of his free time and energy into porn recovery specific work, but then we put 80% of it into chasing his highest value goals. In his case, that was improving his relationship with his wife and kids. So for example, he started doing date nights with his lady, family outings on the weekend, trying to have real conversations with every member of his family every single day. And guess what? Well, not only did he get clean, and is still clean to my knowledge, his relationships massively improved. Divorce was no longer a worry. His kids now love him, feel very connected with them. But not only that, he got way more fit and became way more social as he started working on other parts of his life. Because, since he was clean, that 20% there, that was freed up and his relationships were better. So that freed up energy. And then so he could start going and doing other things. And this brings me to what I want you to think about. What are the biggest issues in your life that cause you to want to escape reality? This could be work or financial stress, relationship issues, loneliness, insecurity, really any number of things. But I want you to figure out what's the thing that makes me want to escape the most, okay? And what I want you to do ultimately is I want you to put 80% of your energy into understanding and solving those issues. And then we got to put, some structured work, about 20% work into the porn specific recovery stuff, or, if it's another vice, that stuff. And I'm confident that if you do this, you will see your results explode. You'll start living a life you don't want to escape from, and naturally. And it'll be way easier to avoid escaping. And frankly, this holds true for just, not just porn, but literally any other kinds of vice that you're trying to eliminate. Now, if you're trying to figure out what's the best way to set this up, solve this, etc., I'd encourage you to check out my new Frontline Man program. In it, I teach you how to simultaneously eliminate escapism and start solving these bigger issues that make you want to escape in the first place. Because of how connected all of these ideas are, this program, it covers escapism as a whole, such as internet scrolling, video games, YouTube binging, junk food, and yes, of course, porn. It applies to all of it because it's all really one big connected knot. But the big key is that in this program, we focus on putting 80% of your energy in achieving the goals that fill us up, and then 20% into eliminating the things that pull us down. And so as you chip away at your deeper problems and steadily build toward your bigger life vision, that urge to escape starts to drain out of you, making it easier and easier to say no to the escapist vices that are holding you back. And what's special about this program is how simple and effective the Frontline framework is. If my old program, Reforged Man, was like a college course, Frontline Man requires just a fraction of that effort, and it's actually way more effective. You can, check out the testimonials around it. But really, the value of having done this so long just lets me kind of trim away all the fat to ensure that 20% of anti-escapism work is hyper efficient at cleaning out the bad habits in our life so we can really go full force on bringing in the good. So right now, enrollment is open for our new cohort, and it closes this Friday. What's more is that there's even a way for that you can get this life-changing course for $0. But just as a heads up, if we run out of seats before then, which we did last time, then your chances of getting in will disappear even sooner. So if you want to eliminate escapism and unleash your apex potential for a grand total of $0, then make sure you check out the details by clicking the link in the description and sign up now. All right, my friends, I hope you found this helpful, and I look forward to seeing you in the Frontline Man cohort. Uyap.